What's up, movie lovers? I'm Mike, and this is Gotta Love Them Movies. Oh, you guys, welcome back to another edition of Gotta Love Them Movies. I'm your host, Mike Brown. Thanks so much for joining me on this beautiful Friday afternoon, at least on the East Coast in New York City. It's a beautiful Friday afternoon. My cats have been fighting and all sorts of cat-tankerous, see what I did there? Emotions have been, the fur has been flying, scratches have been made, blood has been profusely dripped upon the floors. Kind of, not so bad. Anyway, so that's how my day is going. I hope your day is going maybe just a little bit better than that. Normally, if you've been watching the show with any amount of regularity, you know that we try to save Fridays for our debate shows. Well, last week, we left you with a massive cliffhanger. Our reigning champion, Kate Hartman from Anchorage, Alaska, and our challenger, Frank Todaro, famous voice actor from Los Angeles. They were battling head-to-head, and what happened? They tied. We ended the show with a tie, and normally we have a tiebreaker. I have the show set up so that, we have a tiebreaker, so that we actually can declare a winner, but one of our debaters needed to end the show by a very specific time, and we didn't exactly make that time slot. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring them back today. One of them had a scheduling conflict today, so we're going to try and bring them back next week. So if you're wondering, if you're hanging on pins and needles, who's the winner of last week's debate, they will be returning next week, I'm pretty sure. And so hang on for that. But today, for anyone who's not familiar with the things going on and all things like movies and movie news and pop culture and nerddom, this weekend is New York Comic-Con at home. A few months ago, we had San Diego Comic-Con at home, and then like a month or two later, we had DC Fandom at home. Well, this week is New York Comic-Con at home. There's tons of panels being live streamed through the New York Comic-Con website, and news is just funneling in. So many things, so many news bombs have dropped. I haven't been able to check in the last hour because, like I said, my cats were fighting with each other today, and all fur broke loose today. So anyway, today's show is just going to be a straight reporting on all the movie news. I would love to take your emails, but we don't quite have the time built in because there's so many news bombs being dropped today. And to help me usher in all of these news bombs and talk about all things movies and movie news regarding this weekend, New York Comic-Con, ladies and gentlemen, she is one of my, here's the thing. I have four best friends on planet Earth. Four best friends. One is my girlfriend, whom I currently live with. Two, Mr. Josh Hurley, who was previously on this show. Three, Dwayne Williams, one of my best friends from college who lives in Orlando working for Disney. That's on hiatus. More on that later. And today's guest. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my top four best friends in the world. Put your hands together for Ms. Tracy Moe!
Woo! Number four.
Hey, they're all equal spots. We can't say you're number four. You're the top four. How about that? You're top four.
Thank you so much. You're in my top four too.
Yay!
Yay!
Tracy, you are a working actor. You're a working comedian. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself. Like, why are you here?
Oh, hi. I'm Tracy Moll. I do comedy, specifically improv comedy. Lately, the past couple of years, I've been working on cruise ships doing improv. And right now, I am grounded because of what's going on in the world. So I'm back home in Idaho. Yay!
Yay, Idaho! And you're Can we spoil your most recent casting news? Can we talk about that? Or is that top secret?
It's not top secret. I'm just doing some local theater.
Yeah, local theater.
The cat's out of the bag. But I am producing my own comedy show with a group of very close friends, very small cast because, once again, where we're at in the world. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's two vaudevillian skeletons doing a comedy show for the moon. Doesn't that sound fun?
Woo!
Woo! And then I'm also working with another local theater doing Elf the Musical in December. Um,
Elf the Musical.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Woo!
I love your T-shirt, by the way. So sorry I cut you
Yeah.
off, but like like all the colors and everything that's happening. Is that like a WeWork space behind you? Where are you right now?
I guess so. I have no idea. I just picked the most colorful background I could choose because I didn't
I
want
love
you
it.
to see this. So we'll go back here.
Nicely
You don't
done,
need to see
Tracy
my
Mull.
bedroom.
Nicely done. Well, lady,
And I also,
you what?
oh, go ahead. I just like that my body comes in and out. Oh, I guess because there's green in this shirt, maybe
Yeah,
it's
you're all blending
confused.
in
Who knows?
together. It's you appear and disappear, and that's what we love about you, Tracy Mull. You are a ball of mystery. A ball of mystery.
Oh, thanks.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said before, we have a lot of movie news and a lot of things to get through and talk about today. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 tabs open on my browser window. So let's just jump right into it. But before we do, got to tell you how to subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Go over to youtube.com, type in Gotta Love Them Movies. You're going to see a little red box in the top right-hand corner that says subscribe. Go ahead and click that button. What clicking that button does is it helps us to widen our subscriber base. But Mike, you say, we're watching this video on Facebook Live. Why do we have to go to YouTube and subscribe to your channel? Well, it's really rather simple. The more subscribers we get, the bigger the base gets. And the bigger the base gets, I get to qualify for ad revenue. And by qualifying for ad revenue, I get to make the show my full-time job. So I would very much appreciate if you go over to YouTube, type in Gotta Love Them Movies, and click on that little red box that says subscribe. And of course, as soon as we hit 1,000 subscribers, we will be moving the show from Facebook Live to YouTube Live. So just something to keep on your radar there. All right, guys, now it's time to jump into a little bit of movie news.
What?
All right, a whole bunch of stuff has dropped today, so let's just jump right into the very first piece of movie news here, and that is, it should come as no surprise to anybody that the Disney Pixar film Soul is it's not just being moved. See, the release date, I think, was November 6th. The theatrical release date previously was November 6th, which was, coming up in, like a month from now? Surprise, surprise, it should not come as any surprise to anyone that this particular movie has not just been pushed back by for a release date, it is actually being released on Disney Plus. This particular article coming to us from Deadline, they are making it quite clear that this particular theatrical release, here, let me just go ahead and highlight this. It had been set for November 20th release. Sorry, I said November 6th. It was November 20th for Thanksgiving Day release. In domestic theaters, Disney will not charge its streaming subscribers an extra $30 to see Soul. Rather, the movie will simply become available on the service to its 60 million subscribers, just like it did with Artemis Fowl and Hamilton. So this should hopefully come as kind of a sigh of relief to a few people. When Mulan came out, there was this huge hubbub about, well, it's gonna be on Disney Plus, but you have to pay a $30 premium. Soul is not getting the same treatment that Mulan did. I have a few different thoughts about this. First and foremost, I love this. I love that it's coming out on Christmas Day. It's official. It's whatever. It's something that I know I'm going to be able to watch and see and enjoy. Soul, if you saw one of my videos from like a few weeks ago, I posted the top 10 most anticipated films still coming out in 2020. Well, pretty much every movie on that list has been pushed back to 2021. Wonder Woman is the only one that is still holding on to its Christmas Day release date. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit. But, I'm excited that I'm going to be able to see Soul on Disney+. But here's the thing. I'm not excited for missing and it's not just me, it's everybody. We're all going to be missing the theatrical experience for Soul. Let me jump into this, like the next tab that I have open on my browser. Coming from Collider, the people at Collider have seen the first 40 minutes of the movie, of Soul, and they say it's utterly mind-blowing. So, like, again, take this with a grain of salt. Like, this is just, like, a small group of people. You may watch the film, I may watch the film, and we may go, oh, that was really bad. Oh, that was really terrible. I don't think it's going to be. It's written and directed by Pete Docter, the same guy who did Inside Out, the other Pixar film, Inside Out. I have high hopes for this film. It looks absolutely incredible. And in the article of what Collider says, as they're going through, the things that the trailers have left out are the intense characterizations and the personal relationship that we, the audience, have with all the characters. It also goes on to say, and this is the part that like completely blew my mind, as opposed to getting Randy Newman, who is a mainstay over at Disney Pixar for doing the music for these upcoming Pixar films, the soundtrack is actually being produced by, Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. If you're not familiar with the music of Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, they just won an Emmy for The Watchmen, the TV show on HBO. They won an Oscar for The Social Network. They also did the girl in the dragon tattoo, the girl with the dragon tattoo. They did the music for. They've done a whole bunch of this hard, kind of like a razor blade on guitar strings kind of sound. And the way this article, excuse me, I'm slurring my words. Let's have a little bit of tea, shall we? Ah, delicious. So the way that this article, Tracy, I can hear you laughing. The way that this article describes the music and how it ushers, like the meaning behind what's actually happening on screen. And granted, they've only seen the first 40 minutes of the film, so probably like half of the movie. I have extremely high hopes for this, which is dangerous. Anytime that you have high hopes for something, it's dangerous to go in thinking, hey, it's going to be 100%. And if it hits 99%, still great, but it didn't hit your expectations. So it's a little bit dangerous. Tracy Mull, if I may cast things over to you for a second. First of all, how excited or how your background changed again? You're back in your boring room.
Yep, that's right. White background. I was tired of disappearing.
It's fine. So how much were you looking, or are you looking forward to seeing Soul, first of all? And second of all, are you disappointed, that it's getting moved to Disney Plus as opposed to having a theatrical release? And also, third question, does Collider's excitement for the film get you more excited?
Yes. So to answer all your questions, I am very excited about Soul. I remember seeing the teaser trailer and being super excited, and then I forgot about it. Just with the
came out
of life.
so long ago.
Yeah, it feels like forever ago. So having it pop up again, it is very exciting. I'm glad that they are going ahead and releasing it, in a safe environment. I think a lot of families have the tradition of maybe seeing a Christmas movie, especially a family movie. I mean, Disney always waits to release their shows around Thanksgiving or Christmas because I think it's such a family-oriented thing. I think the bummer is for anyone who doesn't have a Disney Plus hookup. Yeah. Man, you guys, you got the sniffs.
So what people can't hear is that I'm putting my microphone on mute so that I can sniff my life away.
But I can hear it.
But you can hear it. Yeah. So I'm trying to spare the viewing audience for hearing me go.
Am I still number 4?
Yeah, totally. Thanks for that. Thanks for that,
Yeah.
Tracy. All those years living together under
Yep, you're
one
welcome.
roof,
Always.
they've really come to bite you in the butt.
I'm going to call you out. Uh, know you too well. um, but watching the newest trailer that came out for it, I am very excited about the artwork in it. So I think Collider's hype about it is going to be right on. Like it's going to be something that we've never seen. It's going to immerse us into this surreal world, kind of like Inside Out did. I think it's going to be a heavy show. I think it's going to hit on a lot of tear-jerking moments.
It
So
sounds like it.
I am excited to see.
Well, I mean, especially
Yeah,
when the
I'm
main
excited to
theme
see
of
what
the movie is, here's a guy, he's a jazz musician, he really wants to make it big, and he nails his audition, and he knows I think he already got the part, or he was cast in the show or whatever, and then he falls in a manhole, and he dies. They don't say that he dies, but they do everything within their power to let you know that he's dead without actually saying to the audience, you are dead. This character died. So, and then we go on that journey of him trying to get back to his body. And that in and of itself is a heavy, heavy theme.
Yeah, yeah, and then coming across the Tina Fey character, it's just like she doesn't want to go to Earth. What's
Yeah.
the point? Is it worth living just to die? And that's a heavy theme. And so, kind of like with Inside Out, like I really enjoyed the film, but if I was a kid, I don't know if it would be my favorite film. So I'm curious to see what Soul is like. I'm curious to see how it's responded to by children.
That's a fair point. That's a
know?
great point. Anyway, question is
I
for
think-
you. Sorry, I'm going to cut you off.
Yep.
We've got so
Okay.
much stuff to cover
Please.
today. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What did you think of the movie Soul? Are you excited to see it? Do you think it's going to be a tearjerker like we think? Are you sad that you're going to miss out on a theatrical experience? Because I most definitely am sad that we're not going to get this as a theatrical experience. Yes, it's going to be cool. It's going to be on Disney Plus. We can watch it as much as we want. I'm sure they're going to release it on VOD a few weeks after, so you can purchase it and get all of the special features that come along with that. But there is something to be said about having that grand theatrical experience. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay.
I'm going to add this real quick, but I think one of the saddest thing about it not being in the theater is we don't get the cute short film right before it. Like, I don't know if they release those when they do
That's
it
a good
on Disney
point.
Plus.
Are we gonna get that? Are they gonna release it?
They didn't do it for Onward, I don't believe. I watched that on Disney Plus, and yeah, so I don't know.
I wonder
know.
if the because do I think I do own Onward. I'll have to go back and check. Maybe I'll check it on in a few minutes when I'm not on screen. So the viewing audience doesn't have to watch me just scrolling through. I'll go back and check, and if I do own it, which I think I do, I'll check and see if in the special features if there's a short associated with the purchased VOD release. So I'll check on that for you. Anyway, but we've got a few more things to cover. So next in our movie news, if you haven't already heard, once upon a time, it was 2014, I believe, something like that. I can't remember. Whenever this book came out, Ready Player One, written by Ernest Cline, was a smash hit. Pretty much universally, everybody loved it. I mean, there was a few debates about certain themes of the book and whatever, but overall, it was a huge success. So much so that they got Steven Spielberg to turn the book into a film. It wasn't my favorite Steven Spielberg adaptation of all time, but it was fun. There were things in the story, in the book, that they changed completely superfluously, and I don't understand why they changed some of those things. I guess they wanted to kind of put some more action or so. I don't know. I didn't quite understand why they made the changes that they made. But today, New York Comic Con, it was announced that Ready Player 2, the sequel to Ready Player 1, the book, not the movie, the book, I mean, of course, I'm sure it's going to be turned into a movie in the next few years. Probably a Steven Spielberg movie. Probably. Well, I don't know. We'll speculate on that. But today, details were just released about the book Ready Player 2. Some of the details that came out, they gave a very short description of the book. And let me see if I can find this. Here we go. Days after winning Oasis founder James Halliday's contest, Wade Watts makes a discovery that changes everything. Hidden within Halliday's vaults, waiting for his heir to find, lies a technological advancement that will once again change the world and make the Oasis 1,000 times more wondrous and addictive than even Wade dreamed possible. Side note, guys, if you can hear a cat meowing, that is my cat Minerva meowing in the background. She wants outside, but she's in trouble today, so she's staying in the room with me. On we go. With it comes a new riddle and a new quest, a last Easter egg from Halliday, hinting at a mysterious prize, and an unexpected, impossibly powerful, and dangerous new rival awaits, one who will kill millions to get what he wants. Wade's life and the future of the Oasis are again at stake, but this time the fate of humanity also hangs in the balance. Lovingly nostalgic and wildly original as only Ernest Cline could conceive it, Ready Player 2 takes us on another imaginative, fun, action-packed adventure through his beloved virtual universe and joins us thrillingly into the future once again. So that is quite a description. That is quite the description of Ready Player 2. That's the only synopsis that we have so far. Tracy, did you ever read the book Ready Player 1, or did you see the movie, and what did you think of it?
I did none of those things, so I have no comment.
Well,
thanks for having me on your...
Well, okay then. So here are my thoughts. Ready Player One. I loved the book. I completely loved the book. The movie I liked. I liked it. I thought it was good. I think it got something like a 70-something% on Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like that's a pretty fair rating. Well, I guess it's not a rating. It's just a gauge of like how many people liked it. 70% or something like that, percent of people liked it. I think that's a fair gauge there. I'm worried. There's something about sequels, especially within comedy. You look at various comedy movies and you think about like, oh, well, in the sequel, we have to be bigger and better. And I think we have reached a point in storytelling in our collective consciousness that when it comes to a sequel, whatever it is, I mean, the audience wants more of the same, but they don't want more of the same. So it's this weird conundrum of balancing the tone with, the same characters that they liked before and living in the same world. And the problem with making sequels is that people tend to do the same thing that already happened, but in a bigger way, And I think for this book to work, which inevitably, come on, it's going to be turned into a movie. I think we all can see the writing on the wall there. I think what they need to do is change the story, change the objective, because we already know the main characters, right? We already know who they are. So let's see them live in this world, but do something completely different. And I think if I can go back to Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and ultimately Bill and Ted Face the Music, that's an example of something that you take the characters, you take the tone, you take the theme, and you keep it the same, but you change the story entirely. Give them something completely different to do. In the first Bill and Ted, they went to, all these different time periods, and they collected all of these notable people from history. And then they, brought them together in a big stage performance and said, hey, we're going to pass our history test. And they did, and it was great. And it was entertaining, and it was fun. In the second film, they so easily could have followed that same format and, got this person and got that person and hey, here we go. And now we, do whatever. But they didn't do that. They went on a completely different journey where they were killed and they had to fight their way out of the afterlife back into existence and then, overcome the evil robot us's. essentially, is what they had to do. So there's this idea that in order to have a successful sequel, you need to follow the same pattern, the same routine. I actually counter that in saying, let's not follow the same patterns. Let's not give our characters the same types of things to do. Let's send them on a completely different journey. Keep the same characters, keep the same tone, and the same atmosphere, but the same kind of like world and universe. But I want to see our characters do something completely different. Tracy, how do you what's your viewpoint on sequels and remake, or not remakes, but a continuation of a story?
Yeah, I agree with what you've been saying. They just have to do something different. Like you can't just try to produce the same thing, because it's already predictable. I think with sequels, some of the obstacles that you face is that we already know the characters, so we've already gone on that journey with them, and so they become predictable in what they're about to do and what they're going to say, and sometimes it becomes lackluster because we're not discovering it for the first time. And so the adventure or their obstacle that they face has to reveal something new about them in order for the audience to be engaged, in my opinion. So yeah,
I'd agree.
sequels, sometimes great, sometimes poopy.
Sometimes great, sometimes poopy. That is true. But what do you guys think? Are you excited for Ready Player 2? Is this a book that you're going to... Are you going to get the hardcover? Because the hardcover always comes out first. Or are you going to wait for the soft cover? Or I guess the paperback. Soft cover. Is that a thing? Hashtag soft cover. Soft cover books. Tracy.
Have you purchased my soft cover?
Ew. Ew.
It's a fair
I don't like that. Anyway, guys, what do you think about Ready Player 2? Are you excited? Do you just not care about it? Are you looking forward to being turned into a movie? And if so, would you like to see Steven Spielberg come back to direct the sequel? Or do you have another director in mind? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, let's move on to our third piece of news today. And our third piece of news comes to us also from Collider. And in this particular piece of news, a brand new Addams Family trailer has dropped. Now, if you're not already familiar, about a year ago? I think it was a year ago. The Addams, or maybe it was 2 years ago. Like it matters. There was an animated kind of CG Addams Family film, and it was okay. It wasn't. I didn't think it was that great, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. This is the kind of movie that was definitely catered to a younger audience. Tracy, I'm going to kick it to you. Did you see the animated Addams Family movie, and what did you think of it?
I just watched it like 3 days
Really?
ago on my own because I'm a grown woman.
For the first time?
I did. For the first time. Because I was really leery of it because I love the Addams Family world so much. And so, I'm a stickler for the 90s adaptations of it. And I just feel like anything that's come after it just hasn't been equal to how much I love the world. But this animated film, it was cute. It was cute. And I think they did a pretty good job about keeping the tone. It felt like it was more pulled from the, I want to say sitcom, but from the TV show than from the movie. I thought there were some cute moments. I didn't hate it as much as I thought I would. Overall, cute movie.
Yeah, it was favorite. Okay. I didn't it didn't bring me to tears. It didn't, both for better and for worse. It was okay. It was fine. When I heard, did you see the teaser trailer for this upcoming one? Was it Addams Family 2? Mm-hmm. What'd you think? I mean, it's just an announcement trailer. It's just a trailer to say, hey, there's another one coming.
It's fine. Their Fester is very kooky, and he does something kooky, and then Wednesday says something very dry.
I just kind of enjoyed the her delivery of, a sequel. How original. I thought it
original.
was kind of fun and clever, but
If
I mean, as a whole, like, I don't know. I would much rather see a live action Adams Family come back to the big screen as opposed to an animated.
oh yeah, see, I'm the
Really?
opposite. I just feel like we already have what we need from it, you know. I don't think we necessarily need to remake it and redo it. It's like anytime they come out with a new Grinch movie, it's just like, okay, it's cute. Thank you for
True.
telling that story, but we don't need
I will
another one.
contend that, like, with the Grinch movies, it's just a cash grab. It's just, hey, here's a popular IP that we can just jump into, and there you go. We'll throw another one out, and every 5 or 10 years or something, and yeah, we'll get a, it's fine. But I think there is something about the Addams Family that definitely lends, especially in the climate today, like in the socio-economical, political climate that we have right now. I think they could say some really interesting things, in the guise of like horror comedy. Also, given with the special effects that we have available right now, I think we could have a really fun, interesting live action film come back as opposed to, cater this world to a younger audience. Do you have a different opinion? I mean, you have already said that you don't think that we need another live action film, but do you think there's any credence there?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think you have a point. Like, perfect vehicle to really touch on some different topics that we're dealing with today, for sure. But, do we need it through the lens of the Adams readily available through them? Yeah. So I guess they could. I don't know. I guess I get very protective of things that I love, and so I just don't want to see them
Well, that's
warped
fandom.
and worn
That's
out.
fandom. I mean,
Yeah.
we do tend to get very protective about the things that we love. Something else that I do want to mention about this upcoming Addams Family film, they have. If you watched the trailer, sorry, I'm out of breath. I just when Tracy was up on the screen, I had to chase
I've
my
been
cat.
chasing cats all
Yeah, I
day.
had to chase the cat around the room for a minute. So I'm like, I'm finally sitting. No, I'm talking. If you watch the trailer for the upcoming Addams Family 2, at the very end, and if you blink, you'll miss it. But there's an advertisement. If you want to be in the movie yourself, they're having a contest where you can voice one of the characters and potentially win $2,000. So all you have to do is hop on over to Zooppa, Zooppa, Zoopapa. I've never heard of this website, but they're the ones that are sponsoring this whole thing. Apparently, there's 20, what is this, 20, 25 days left to jump in on this contest. The whole thing's you record a little voiceover sample, you email it in, and you put yourself in the running to potentially be in the movie. Tracy, is this obviously this is a gimmick, but do you think this is a clever gimmick?
I do, yeah. Um, as big as a nerd as I am, and I just, kind of poo pooed this entire sequel. But if I have a chance to be in it, that's a cool opportunity, especially because I think it captures people's want to be a part of something that they love. So I think it's a cool promotion.
I think it's really fun.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. It's super gimmicky. It's super gimmicky, and I think they also understand that this is the kind of property that is not going to bring the masses out in droves, especially if it gets released on VOD. Which, I mean, it's going to come out next year, so we'll probably most likely get a theatrical release, if not a 2020 release, or sorry, 2022 release. But yeah, I think this is anytime that you have an opportunity to get the audience personally invested in what it is that you're doing. I'm sure you've experienced this as well, but like as a comedian on stage, some of the best shows that I've ever had are when you get the audience up on stage to do things with you, because now you are literally bringing the audience into your art, and they are more emotionally invested in what you're doing. You can do the same stupid, silly bit, and, maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. But when you have the audience on stage, now they're with you. Have you had that same opportunity?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think we're all a little narcissistic, or like we all, you know, we're more invested when we're a part of it.
I
So
agree.
I think it's
I
natural.
agree. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think of the new Addams Family 2 trailer? Are you looking forward to the movie? Did you like the last one? Did you not like the last one? Is this just kind of like, oh, can you just stop already? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, moving on to our next bit of movie news, and this is kind of the title screen. If you clicked on this video, this is the photo that initially popped up. This is something that I am so ridiculously excited for. I had no idea that this was a thing until today when the news dropped. Not just when news dropped, but when photos dropped. Because I guess news dropped like over a year ago. I think it was like April of 2019. News dropped that Hulu and Marvel were working on this project together. And initially, it was a series of 4 different shows. It was going to be MODOK, which we're talking about. It was going to be Howard the Duck. It was going to be Dazzler and Tigra, and it was going to be what was the last one? It was Hit Monkey. There were going to be 4 different Marvel Comics properties being brought to life in like various styles of animated television shows. They've all been canceled except for MODOK. And oh my dear heavens, look at this. Entertainment Weekly just dropped these photos today. And I had no idea that this was even a thing until I clicked on this article. I am a huge fan of stop motion animation. And even more than that, I am a huge fan of Patton Oswalt. Now, Patton Oswalt is voicing MODOK. And I think we should probably spend at least a moment and talk about who and what MODOK is, which is a very strange. I mean, just look at this character design. Look at him right there. He's a floating head. Has tiny little arms and tiny little legs sticking out. He's just this massive face inside of this body. And of course, MODOK stands for mobile. Here, let me highlight it right here. Mobile organism designed only for killing. He's a mobile organism designed only for killing. And the synopsis of this show is so wacky and it's so silly. They're describing it that it's going to be in kind of a kind of like The Office meets what are some of those other like family, Modern Family. So if you get like Modern Family and The Office and kind of mash them together in terms of like filmmaking, storytelling, it's going to have that kind of look, that vibe to it. But it's also stop motion animation. So it's going to have like a little bit of a robot chicken feel to it as well, you know? So first of all, if you're not familiar with the character of MODOK, he's a very bananas, bonkers, strange, bizarre character. MODOK, in the comics, heads up the evil, villainous organization AIM. AIM was featured in the 3rd Iron Man movie. In Iron Man 3, you had Aldrich Killian, played by, what's his face? That guy. And James Badge Dale, or Dale James Badge, whatever that guy's name is. He was the number 2 in the organization. But you have like this organization, villainous organization, meant for evil, meant for destruction. Let's kill the Avengers. Let's kill Iron Man, led by this floating embodiment of a head named MODOK, or the mobile organism only for killing. So strange, so bizarre. It's such a wacky entity and wacky property. And with Patton Oswalt as one of the geniuses behind this show, yes, he's voicing it, but he's also executive producing. He's also helping to write this whole thing. And the whole concept behind this is, what is this weird, ridiculous villain? And I think we can all agree he is a weird, ridiculous villain or character. What is this weird, ridiculous villain doing when he's not trying to like kill the Avengers? Like, what is his home life like? Does he have a home life? They go on in the synopsis in the article to explain that he, the villain for MODOK is corporate America. So now he has to, like, why would this weird, ridiculous villain ever stop to think, like, hey, well, now I have to stop, like, I'm being prohibited by red tape. What does that look like? This is such a weird show. Tracy, I'm pretty sure you've never heard of MODOK before. And if you have,
no.
hands off, hats off to you. Is this the first time that you've heard?
Keep your hat on. I haven't heard anything.
Is this the first time you've heard of this project? And as someone who is not invested in comics, and you've seen a few nerdy movies, a few geeky movies, a few comic book movies over the years, but it's not a world that you're invested in. And I can say that with pure certainty because we used to live together. How much interest does the layperson like yourself have in a show like this?
But a little curiosity actually, because I like this idea of like this is just his off time, like in the middle of a fight. What does he do? And I think Robot Chicken has always played with that. When up, I was like, oh yeah, like they always showed like Superman coming back after a thing and just fighting with his wife or whatever, I think there's something there. I think MODOK is very ugly, but it feels like a Rick and Morty thing where it's just like I can get past the disgusting to enjoy the brilliance of it. And so, and especially having Patton Oswalt behind it, I think it's going to be. I'm curious about it now. I'm in.
You're okay. Sold. You're sold.
You got me. I'll check it out.
Great.
Yeah.
You're curious.
Not sold, but I'm curious. I'll watch one episode.
Have you seen? Are you a member of CBS All Access? Yeah. Perchance. There's.
No.
I mean, when I say I'm not a Star Trek fan, I think a lot of people looking at my T-shirt, looking at the wall of toys behind me, would go, oh, "What? How are you not a Star Trek fan?" Sci-fi is one of those genres that's never really jumped out at me. I don't really care for sci-fi. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But there's an animated show on CBS All Access called Lower Decks. It's the concept of what if you have all of like the menial workers on the Starship Enterprise who just, who are like the average everyday people that, they're not the main stars. They're not the people on the bridge. And the animation is done in the style of Rick and Morty, and I think it actually has one or two of the writers from Rick and Morty on the show. And it's a brilliant show. It's fantastic. We'll do a full review of it later. But when I hear about a show like MODOK, and I hear that they want to do kind of like the Office dramedy, like from The Office, or kind of like a documentary style of Modern Family, and mash those worlds together in a stop motion, because I'm a sucker for all things stop motion. I'm like, I will drop what I'm doing and I will watch stop motion because I love it so much. Knowing like some of the irreverent humor from like a show like Lower Decks or a Rick and Morty or I don't know, Robot Chicken or even Family Guy, and I see something weird and crazy like this, it just reaches out and grabs me and says, yep, this show is for you. Totally for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very curious about it. When you showed me the stills from it, I was like, ew.
It's weird. It's weird.
But looking more into it, yeah, I'm very curious.
I am also very curious. And ladies and gentlemen, the question is for you. How curious are you? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know, like, are you looking forward to this? Did you know about this? Are you the target demographic? And if you're not, does any of this interest you? Because I genuinely want to know. This is a show that was made for me. I feel like Patton Oswalt was like, Mike, I'm gonna come up with a show that you have no idea what it is that we're doing, but I guarantee you're gonna love it. And after seeing the stills that Entertainment Weekly put out with like the brief synopsis and comments about it, I can't wait for this. Anyway, guys, jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, let's move on to our next. Guys, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 more bits of news to cover today. And this one particular is coming from comicbook.com. There are some rumors that the film Wonder Woman 1984 is going to be released on streaming. We've seen the trend. Obviously, like, Disney just announced that Soul was going to be released on streaming. We saw that Mulan was released on streaming. That was a whole kettle of fish. There's a whole bunch of films that were supposed to get theatrical runs that are now being released, to streaming. But then a lot of other films are just getting pushed back. With a movie like James Bond, No Time to Die. That's a potential billion-dollar film. Is it going to make $1 billion? I don't think so, but it's a potential billion-dollar film. Black Widow, billion-dollar film. You can just let's say COVID never happened. That is money in the bank. $1 billion, guarantee it. So that's a potential billion-dollar film. Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, when it came out in 2017? It made, I think it was $900 million at the box office. A little bit over, but $900 million at the box office. So Wonder Woman 84, potential billion-dollar film. There's all this talk, and there are rumors going around the internet saying that, with all of the theaters shutting down, Regal, who's owned by Cineworld in Europe, they have ceased production. They have ceased all operations as of yesterday around the world. They've closed their doors. All Regal cinemas in the United States shut down until the pandemic's over. AMC has very famously, and the same thing with Cinemark. Cinemark theaters and AMC theaters have very openly and very publicly announced, we are staying open. We have to keep our doors open. They have to. So with Wonder Woman 84, there's a lot of discussion. Is it going to go to streaming? And if not, is it going to still open on Christmas Day? Well, even though we don't have all of the answers, director of the film, Patty Jenkins, had this to say about it. When someone else came to, the film's defense and said, nope, this film is coming out on Christmas Day, Patty Jenkins backed up this particular Twitter post and said, correct, direct to streaming is not even being discussed. We are 100% behind the theatrical experience for Wonder Woman 84 and supporting our beloved theater business. So that those words are coming directly from Patty Jenkins, the director of Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman 84. Okay, so here's the thing. It's hard to say 100% definitely it is coming out as a theatrical window. Will it? Yeah, most likely, probably. But in this pandemic, things that were possible, things that were impossible yesterday, depending on the circumstances, somehow find themselves to be possible today. You never would have seen Disney say, you know what, we're gonna release Hamilton on Disney Plus. We're gonna release Soul on Disney Plus. We're gonna release Mulan on Disney Plus and charge $30 to see it. You never would have seen that. Like, that never would have happened back in April. Just not gonna happen. But as the pandemic moves forward and businesses and situations tend to get more dire and the stakes keep growing, all bets are off. All bets are off. Who knows what's going to happen, So all we can expect is the unexpected. We have a pretty good idea that Wonder Woman is still going to come out theatrically. In fact, I personally believe Wonder Woman is still going to come out theatrically. It needs to, especially after what happened with Tenet. Christopher Nolan's Tenet, was pretty much the only movie to come out. I mean, yeah, there was Russell Crowe's Unhinged. Yes, there was New Mutants, but let's be honest, nobody's going to the theaters to see those movies. For the people who did go to the theaters, they went to go see Tenet. They wanted to see Tenet. Tenet only made $300 million. That's not a lot of money, considering its operating budget was $200 million. It spent another $200 million on advertising, so now they're still in the hole $100 million. Not to mention, they still have to pay the theaters to play their movie. I mean, they don't take a huge cut. They take a little cut, but they still take a cut. So in order for a movie like Tenet to just break even, it needs to make $600 million. It only made $3 million. We're in a pickle. You guys. Warner Brothers cannot afford, they just can't afford to release Wonder Woman on streaming. They can't afford it. If it comes out on VOD on Christmas Day, they're not going to earn the money back that they spent on it. Nor is it going to help their situation with Tenet. Nor is it going to help their situation that they have had no influx of money coming in over the past few months. It won't. It's not that profitable. There's no way that Wonder Woman 84 coming out on VOD is going to make $1 billion. In the theaters, it has the potential, but they just can't do it on VOD. It's just not viable. Tracy, with this particular news, I know now that I'm thinking about it, like the cut of your sweater and like the colors are very Wonder Woman-y kind of colors to me. It's kind of jumping out a little bit. What are your thoughts about Wonder Woman coming out on VOD? Like, is there something that I'm missing? Is there something that I'm not taking into consideration here? Like, is there an actual possibility that it could come out on VOD and actually make money, unlike other properties that we've seen? Oh, this would have been a perfect moment. Oh, hang on one second. I think Tracy is calling back in. Oh, we lost her. Oh, Tracy's back. Oh, that was a perfect moment.
Sorry about that.
You're I asked you the question, and you were frozen on this. So I asked you the question, and you were like, and then it just froze. And I gave it a second. I'm like, what? Wait, what? And then you called back in, and so here we are. But it was a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
Tracy, what's the possibility that, like, is there anything that I'm leaving out with Wonder Woman 84 being released on VOD? I mean, Patty Jenkins has very publicly stated it is not coming out on VOD, nor will it. It needs to have a theatrical release, and they support the theatrical release. But if we don't have theaters in the next 6 months to show it, like, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. Then I think they definitely have to pivot. We're in such a unique time that, we don't know what's happening from week to week sometimes, Yeah, I feel bad for movie theaters and movies in general. Like, it's just a tough time. I'm doing local theater right now, and it's bizarre, because you have to provide a safe space for everyone. And then you also have to keep in the back of your mind that the show might not go on. And that's okay. Like, it's more important to keep the public safe than it is, to entertain. I'm sorry to be talking about local theater when we were talking movies.
No, but I mean, it's still entertainment. It all still connects to each other.
Right. Right. So I'm in a university town, and their theater program, they're doing live shows, but they don't have live audiences. So they're streaming it, and then it's all based on donations. And so I think we are seeing, we're seeing the
crescendo.
I'm so sorry. I'm so tongue-tied. Oh, not crescendo. We're seeing people adapt to different situations. Like we're all making it up as we go. And so, unfortunately, to say that you're not going to do video on demand or live streaming or, release to a streaming, I'm going to say venue. I'm so sorry.
Platform. How about streaming platform?
Platform. Thank you. You know, uh, I think you still have to keep those as plan Bs, plan Cs,
Yeah.
and you have to make it work because unfortunately, yeah, we do have to keep in mind that it's for the safety of our our whole society. We need entertainment, but we need to be safe as well. So we'll
We'll
see.
see.
And in 6 months, who knows?
That's the thing. In 6 months, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, the whole climate could change. I mean, everything could improve in the next 6 months, or it could get worse. We just don't know. We don't know where we're at right now. I mean, Regal Cinemas has said that they're gonna, or rather, Cineworld, who owns Regal, they're shutting their doors until the pandemic's over.
Yeah.
Um,
Regal's one of the major movie theaters in where I'm at, and so it's just like no
oh
movie theater.
wow.
Not that I don't think anyone's going. Anytime you drive by the Cineplex, nobody's there. And I think people are being precautious
Yeah.
because you have to be.
Well, I know
So,
another discussion that people are having is with drive-in theaters, and people are saying, "Well, let's just release everything on drive-in theaters, and the movies will be fine." But the problem with that is that there's not enough drive-in theaters to support, the
well,
industry.
yeah. Also, winter's coming. Like drive-in movie theaters are a summer activity,
Yeah.
right? I'm in Idaho and we're dropping real quick, like we're supposed to get snow in a couple of weeks and it's just like, okay, like
Well,
shut it
also,
down.
keep in mind, both New York City and Los Angeles are the largest markets for the cinema. Or for movies and movie making. So without New York, which is currently completely closed right now, same thing with Los Angeles. That's about 30% of the box office. 30% of the box office is from these two cities domestically. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. So if you only exclusively go to drive-in theaters, not only do you have nowhere near as many theaters open with a drive-in than you do just a brick and mortar store, but you're missing out on the New York and the Los Angeles markets, and there's no way that
Yeah.
you can recoup those losses. No way that you can recoup those losses.
Right. I wonder if they thought about this is just something that popped in my head. There's no research behind this, but doing like a movie theater platform where it's just like you pay, your $7 to see the movie and it's basically renting it, and doing it that way, where it's still an online interface, but it's like a movie
I
theater.
mean, I stuff like that gets really tricky with piracy and if how are you going to regulate how many people are seeing it, because if you're paying $7 for one household, even if say you pay $50 for one household, it's $50 to have all your friends come over, everybody chips in $5 or $10, and great, we all get to see the movie. But even still, like it's a tricky thing. And then, hey, we're just gonna record it on like screen capture this whole thing. There's 1,000 different programs that allow you to screen capture, and then you can just release the movie on YouTube or wherever with
Yeah.
some streaming torrent thing. I don't know, stuff like it's a tricky situation unless they figure out
Yep.
like some anti-piracy technology that you can actually do something like that. Maybe. I mean, again, like we said earlier, what was impossible yesterday, today suddenly is on the table and it's being discussed. So, I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Anyway, guys, question is for you. What solutions do you have to fix this problem? Do you think Wonder Woman is going to keep its Sorry, my cat is literally licking my knee right now. She came up and is licking my knee. What do you think about Wonder Woman 84? Is it going to keep its December 25th release date? I say it's going to get pushed back into 2021, just like all the films are. Because again, I don't think Warner Brothers can risk having another flop at the box office financially. What do you think? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. All right, guys, let's move on to our next bit of movie news today. And this technically is not movie news. This is television news. HBO Max just announced today, probably about 2 hours ago, that a Green Lantern television show is in the works. It will be starring or featuring the characters of Guy Gardner and Adam Scott and Cruz. Oh, I can't remember her name. Jessica Cruz. Alan Scott, not Adam Scott, who is the Green Lantern's first gay character, whom I think that's actually kind of cool. The one thing about this particular release that I'm not all that excited about is there's the four main Green Lanterns. For anyone who's not familiar with, we have Hal Jordan, we have John Stewart, we have Guy Gardner, and we have Alan Scott. Those are like the four main human Green Lanterns, or the ones that we associate coming from planet Earth. Because, you know, Green Lantern is a big they're intergalactic police, is what they are, essentially. In the past few years, there's been a huge push to get John Stewart, the Green Lantern John Stewart, who's an African-American character, either on the big screen or on television or something. We've seen multiple iterations of Hal Jordan. He was the very first Green Lantern, human Green Lantern that came from Earth. And so fans have been clamoring a lot for a John Stewart. And so for me, it's a little disappointing with this particular press release that we don't get a John Stewart in the mix. Now, Tracy, I know you're a huge Green Lantern fan. You know Green Lantern way more than I do. You love all things DC Comics and Superman and Batman, and you know, obviously Hal Jordan is your favorite of all the Green Lanterns, being the original. I say very facetiously, but you hear about a live-action 8-episode series, limited series, coming to HBO Max. Do you think this is more of the same? Do you think this is exciting? Do you think this is disappointing? Like, being the average layperson, where do you fall with this?
You know, when I think Green Lantern, I think Ryan Reynolds. Did he play Green Lantern?
He did, and that movie was abysmal. I tried watching the director's cut, which is slightly better than the theatrical cut, but it's abysmal. Oh, it's so bad.
Yeah. So that's what I have associated with Green Lantern. So I really can't say that I'm excited about this. But I will say, you know, when Netflix came out with their whole series with like Daredevil and Jessica Jones and all of those, I really got into them. So if this for the DC world, you know, brings forth a character in a series and they do it right and they do it well, I imagine it will do well.
HBO in general they've had a pretty good track record with their television shows. I've been on record saying I don't think Lovecraft Country is a very good show. I think it's an interesting show. I think it is a very interesting show, and I think it's a necessary and important show to be on the air right now. I just don't think it's a very good show. Narratively speaking, I think they have screwed the pooch. I think they really cut themselves off, and with the social commentary of the show, I think is brilliant, and I think it's necessary. But I think they got lost in the social commentary of the show. Sorry, we really went off track here. But, you know, I think they did get lost in the social commentary of the show, and the narrative doesn't make any sense to me. I watched 6 episodes. Now I'm eventually going to go back and rewatch the episodes like right from the very beginning, having already kind of an understanding of what happens in the show. I want to see if there's something that I missed. I don't think I did, but we're not talking about Lovecraft Country. We're talking about Green Lantern. I think on the whole, HBO and HBO Max has had a pretty good track record at telling stories and telling good stories. Game of Thrones, famously like one of their most successful property. Ow! My cat just bit me. Ah! Hey! No.
Mike versus Minerva.
Well, that just happened. She's in a mood today. She's in a mood today, ladies and gentlemen. And now, oh man, sorry about that. What was I saying?
Watch the episode just for that moment.
I'll have to play that on repeat. I'll just make a GIF of that, and we'll put it out. Oh my goodness. What was I talking about? Green Lantern. HBO Max has done a really great job at their storytelling lately. Like I said before, I just got bit by my cat. Am I okay? Am I bleeding? I'm fine. Game of Thrones was one of their most successful properties of all time. So they've got a really good track record with their shows for the most part. And I understand I am in the vast minority when it comes to my opinions of Lovecraft Country. Vast minority. So, taking my opinion out of the conversation, across the board, HBO and HBO Max is killing it. They're killing it with their programming. So I have no reason to believe that, this isn't going to be a fun, great show.
Yeah. Good luck, Green Lantern. Get it.
What do you guys think? Are you looking forward to Green Lantern? Are you looking forward? I think it's a kind of a missed opportunity to not include Jon Stewart in this particular group, in this particular mix. Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Additionally, jump down to the comment section below and let me know if my cat should continue to bite me on the ankles. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. All right, guys, moving on to our second to last bit of movie news today. Woof! Like I said, we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Elf on the Shelf has now... I don't know why Tracy's laughing, but it makes me laugh. I say Elf on the Shelf, and she giggles. Tracy, I'm just going to throw it to you. I'm not even going to introduce this segment. Elf on the Shelf gets an exclusive contract with Netflix. What are your thoughts? Knee-jerk reaction.
Oh, you cut out there. Oh no, what'd you just ask?
Knee-jerk reaction. What's your knee-jerk reaction to hearing this news? Netflix just cut a deal, or rather Elf on the Shelf cut a deal with Netflix.
Boo. I guess so. If we can have an emoji movie, we could have an Elf on the Shelf movie. And I think for all those households who do have an elf on their shelf, I think it's just going to, I guess, kids are going to want to see it. They're going to enjoy it. Hopefully it's heartfelt. But, I've seen a lot of mischievous elf on the shelves out there. And so I would...
No.
Yeah. It gets serious. You can Google it. There's a BuzzFeed list out there of the worst.
What do you mean, like mischievous elves on shelves? What are you talking about?
I mean, my sister's elf on the shelf. He does some. His name is Dexter, and he does some real naughty things, But it's all just to keep the kids in line. He borrowed Barbie's car one night. He tied up a bunch of GI Joes up.
What?
And held them hostage. And things like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Elf on the Shelf is, and you're not supposed to touch Elf on the Shelf. You're not supposed to move him. He's if you, and he watches you. That's the whole idea behind Elf on the Shelf. Or she. They keep an eye on you and they report back to Santa. And so what's this film going to be? You could go real dark real fast. Wow. Or it'll probably just be really heartwarming.
Keep it, on the surface and very light and happy and family friendly. But now that you've mentioned this, I kind of there's a new trailer just dropped, I think 2 days ago with Mel Gibson, which I have some weird feelings about because it's Mel Gibson, but it looks really interesting. He plays Santa Claus, and the movie is called Fat Man, and the idea is that last year for Christmas, Santa Claus gave this little kid who's I don't know why this little kid is like the head of some power organization or whatever, but he gives this little boy a lump of coal for Christmas. The little boy, like, it looks like a great trailer. It looks fun. It looks really, really fun. And he holds the coal high in the sky and he says, "I'm gonna get you, fat man." And like just picture Mel Gibson as Santa Claus. He's hard, he's grizzled. He's not the happy, jolly elf that we have come to know and love over the years. He's like, he will pull out a gun and shoot someone. He's like that kind of Santa Claus. And then Walter Goggins is the assassin hired to kill Santa Claus. And it's an R-rated film, so I think that needs to be expressed first. This is not a family movie. This is not a lighthearted movie. It's kind of a fun action movie for adult audiences. It looks ridiculously fun, but it's starring Mel Gibson, which I have some really weird feelings about. But that aside, if Elf on a Shelf took that kind of an approach, I would totally be into it. I'd totally be into it.
I want a dark, twisted Christmas tale. Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be very heartwarming. I've never read the book, so maybe I should get on that. I'm sure my sister has it if they have an Elf on the Shelf. Dexter comes every year. I'm sure they have the book. When you say
Dexter comes every year, there's just, they put some very murderous vibes into my mind.
Right. Why is his name Dexter? I'm curious.
You're what? You're curious?
I think I'm curious. I'm not excited about it. Will I make an effort to watch it? No, but
well, here's the thing.
I'll watch it.
I will probably watch it because let's be honest, as much as upset as I am about Adam Sandler making a movie called Hubie Halloween, I'm gonna watch it. I know I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It looks so bad. It looks so stupid. But it has Maya Rudolph in it, so of course I'll watch it. I don't know. So with a property like Elf on the Shelf, yeah, I'll probably watch it. And it's not just a film. There's a film and a television show being made at the same time for Netflix. So I don't know. It could be. Well, the show is animated. The movie's live action.
Okay.
I don't know. It could be. I don't know.
So live action?
The movie's going to be live action, yeah. Uh-huh. Do you remember when they did the live action Teddy Ruxpin movie?
Is that live action? Is it just...
Oh, details have not been made, but I don't know. I would love, I don't know. Who would I like to see? Maybe like Kevin Hart? If Kevin Hart played the Elf on the Shelf? Honestly, and I'm just spitballing here. If Kevin Hart was the Elf on the Shelf and he was like digitally like reduced down to what, like 10 inches tall or something, or however tall the elf is, like that could actually be a really fun movie if they do it well.
Yeah.
And get like a big name star. Like if they're gonna do it in the same style of like all of their Holiday in Handcuffs, kind of movies. If it's like a Hallmark movie, you've seen Holiday in Handcuffs, haven't you?
Oh.
It's with Melissa Joan Hart and Slater from Saved by the Bell. What's his name? Slater. That guy. Mario Lopez. Thank you. So it's Mario Lopez. Uh-huh.
Is that his name?
What did a name just come to you and you weren't sure? Anyway, so it's Mario Lopez and Melissa Joan Hart, and she's working at this diner restaurant. She's supposed to bring her fiance to like the family cabin like over Christmas so the family can meet her fiance. Her fiance dumps her the day they're supposed to go on like Christmas break or whatever, go to the cabin up in the mountains, and he breaks up with her. And so now she's panicked and she's like, I don't know what to do. I can't show up. My family already thinks I'm a loser. I can't show up without my fiance. So she kidnaps Mario Lopez, who just walks into the restaurant to have lunch by himself. He's a very handsome man. He looks very presentable. And so she finds this antique gun that's hanging on the wall of the restaurant. She finds some handcuffs herself to Mario Lopez, and at antique gunpoint brings him to the This is a family movie, by the way. It's a Hallmark. It's like one of those silly Hallmark, like, family-friendly movies. So it's all, like, very lighthearted. Mm-hmm. Brings him to the cabin, and now they have to put on this ruse that he is the fiance. And of course they fall in love, and whatever. It's very silly. If Elf on the Shelf is done in that kind of Hallmark family-friendly movie kind of way, I don't know. Yeah, maybe not. But if they do, like, if they cast, I don't know why Kevin Hart is coming to mind, but like a Kevin Hart type, that could actually be really fun. And if get I don't know, Samuel L. Jackson to play like the father of the family, or like the grandfather of the family, and now he has to like wrestle with the elf on the shelf to like, don't you dare report my kids to Santa. I'm sorry, but Samuel L. Jackson and Kevin Hart in a Christmas movie together, I'm sold.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like, is it Jim Parsons, who's from Big Bang?
Yeah, what about him? I could see that.
I'm thinking that's probably the direction they're going to go.
I could see that.
Yeah, just a tall, lanky. Because you've seen Elf on the Shelf, right?
I have. Even still, I would love to see Samuel L. Jackson like fight with a 10-inch tall Jim Parsons.
I'm with you. Well, I'm with a Kevin Hart Elf on the Shelf. I'm just saying, we'll see which direction.
We'll see which direction. Question is for you guys: what kind of a direction do you think they're going to go with the Elf on the Shelf movie and or television show? Jump down into the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Also, are you excited? Like, does this silly project interest you? It interests me. Only if Sam Jackson is in it. Maybe Kevin Hart. I like Kevin Hart. All right, moving on to our last bit of news today. Woof, today's been a long one, Tracy. Today's been a long one. This particular bit of movie news, today at New York Comic Con, a brand new trailer for Stephen King's The Stand was released. I think a few weeks ago, there was a small little teaser trailer. It was more of an announcement trailer saying, hey, The Stand, it's a show coming on CBS All Access. Womp. The teaser trailer was very intriguing. And then today, a full-length trailer was released. Tracy, did you see the trailer, and what were your initial reactions? If you did. I don't know if you watched it.
Wait, sorry, you cut out again. What are we talking about?
Stephen King's The Stand.
Oh, yes.
So the trailer came out today. What are your thoughts on it?
It looks interesting enough. I've never read the books. I've been surrounded by folks who have read the book and who love the book.
You mean Mr. Josh Hurley?
Yeah. Josh Hurley,
Kyle Anderson. That's right.
All of them.
Oh, Kyle.
Kyle.
A reference that nobody gets except for me and Tracy and Josh if he's watching. Oh, Kyle. Do you remember that video? I made filmed a very salacious video of Kyle many, many years ago. It resurfaced in my Facebook feed. It's on private, so nobody can see it except for me. Woof. It's one of those things that I kind of regret doing. At the time, I was like, this is hilarious. But now I look back on it, I'm like, oh no, this is bad. Anyway, we really got off topic here. The Stand. What did you think of the trailer?
The Stand. It looks good. I'm surprised by how many big names are in it. I'm not surprised by that, actually. But it's one of those things that I'm like, does it take people out of it, to see Whoopi Goldberg and James Marsden and
Heather
who
Graham?
else is in?
Heather Graham is in the cast?
Yeah, like really big names. So it's going to be good. But I also have that thing where it's just like, I just see them as the actor that they are. And hopefully we can melt into their characters, like drop that, put up a fourth wall of their actor Ing. Um,
I don't know. The celebrity aspect of the trailer didn't bother me at all because when I look at James Marsden, immediately I think Cyclops from the X-Men movies. Um, my second thought is James Marsden from the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, but he's in my mind he's not like that huge of an actor. He's not a Tom Cruise. He's not a Samuel L. Jackson. He's a James Marsden who has the potential to be a leading man. He just hasn't done it yet, you know? Whoopi Goldberg is playing kind of and again, I don't know I haven't read the book. I haven't seen the previous teleplay, or I guess limited series is what it's called. I haven't seen any of it. I know nothing about the story. But Whoopi Goldberg kind of seems to be kind of like the mystic, like fortune teller of the show a little bit. At least that's the vibe she's giving off. I think that looks really cool. And when I saw Heather Graham's in it for like 2 seconds, and she's just like holding her face screaming. And I'm like, yep, that seems appropriate. That seems about right. I don't think this was a very good trailer. And I'll tell you why. The cinematography looks brilliant. This story, whatever the story turns out to be, it looks like it has a really high level of art value put into it. One of my criticisms of Dr. Sleep when compared to The Shining was that The Shining was a really artistic film. It was a high concept. Visuals were incredible. And then when I watched Dr. Sleep, which is a great story, it didn't seem like that movie had the same level of artistic value that The Shining had. Now, I really ended up liking Dr. Sleep. I thought it was a great movie. But when I look at this, just the trailer for The Stand, it looks like it has a high art concept to it. And that pleases me a lot from a visual telling standpoint. I think it's really clever, the way that they've shot the film. But the trailer tells us nothing of the story. I watched the trailer. I've never read the book. I've never seen the previous television show. I know nothing what to expect from this story, from this trailer. I don't know what it is that I'm getting into. It looks post-apocalyptic, kind of. But I don't know. I don't know what the story is. And I feel like that's the job of a trailer, is to say, hey, now the teaser announcement that came out a few months ago, or like a month ago or whatever, I thought that was brilliant because it's a little taste, gives you a sense of the tone. Maybe we have no idea what the story is, but there's like a little, hey, this thing is coming. But with this trailer, I don't know what this show is. I have no idea what it's about. I don't know why I should be invested in it. It's a Stephen King property and it looks beautiful. And for those reasons, I'm going to watch the show. But other than that, I have no reason to be invested in this. Do you have a different take on it?
Yeah, I mean, it just looked like a classic tale of good versus evil, right? And figuring out where you lie. Like it just seems like, but I'm sure there's going to be a lot of twists and whatnot. It's like end of the world and there's two groups and this guy's getting stronger
Right.
and we must defeat him, but are you on the right side? Like that's the vibe that I got from it. But I'm sure it's more complicated than that.
I hope
right?
so. I mean, it's Stephen King, so it's got to be more complicated than that. Anyway, guys, did you have a chance to see the trailer for The Stand? What did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you somewhere in between? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys.
Where do you stand on the stand? That's the line. Sorry, Mike. Sorry.
That was actually quite brilliant. Where do you stand on the stand? All right, guys. So with all of that down and out of the way, that's all of our movie news today. Like I said, we're not taking any emails today, but as we do every show, we do like to take some of your live questions. So if you're watching right now, jump down to the comment section below and start firing in some live questions because we're going to start reading them and addressing them here on Live Questions.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
been firing in live questions all through the show, and so this is the portion where we're just going to go through and read everything that you guys have to say. Danny Doran, a very good friend of mine, Danny Doran. We used to know each other way back in Ireland. That was a long time ago, and that's a story that needs explanation, but you're not going to get it here. So Danny Doran says, "You're the winner!" Exclamation point, clap, smile, star eye emoji, clap, 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 clap. Thank you, Danny. I think Danny was referring to at the very beginning of the show when I was talking about who the winner was from last week's debate show. Was it Frank Tadaro or was it Kay Hartman? And I think this is Danny's way of saying, "Aw, I'm the winner." Well, thank you, Danny. And Danny's actually going to be a guest on the show on, I think, Thursday the 22nd. So keep your peepers popped for that. Thank you for sending that in, Danny. As we scroll on down, my cousin Tiffany Beery says, "So MODOK was in Phineas and Ferb's Marvel crossover movie," says Bernadette. So Bernadette is Tiffany's daughter. She goes by a different name, but we just affectionately refer to each other as Bernadette. I call her Bernadette. She calls me Steve. We don't know why. It's a thing that we do. But Bernadette says, so MODOK was in the Phineas and Ferb's Marvel crossover movie. I saw, when I was Googling images for today's kind of like photo stills, I saw some of those, and I was like, what is happening? Tracy, do you watch Phineas and Ferb at all?
No.
Well, okay. Guess I got my answer. Thank you. Oh, man.
Thanks again for having me on your show.
What are your thoughts on this? I don't have any. Okay, great, thank you. Yeah, I know, like, again, from the images that I Googled for today's show to kind of have as the title card, I saw Phineas and Ferb hanging out with MODOK, and I'm like, what in the world is happening? So was that in the Phineas and Ferb movie, or was there like a special? Tiffany, if you're still watching, I need clarification on this, because I know there was a Phineas and Ferb movie that just came out. So was that in the movie that just came out, or was there a separate movie that MODOK appeared in? Yeah, let me know. Robbie Spratt from Salt Lake City says, "This is fantastic. Mike, your show is at its best when you have unexpected cat interruptions." Well, thank you, Robbie. I do my best to try and provoke my cat before every show. I really don't. Do not tell the ASPCA. But no, facetiously, she's a wild one. Now, Tracy, you know Minerva. In fact, I'm gonna let you vamp for a second. I'm gonna go get Minerva so that everybody can meet the beast of what we're talking about here.
Yes, I know Minerva. I know Minerva quite well. I've spent maybe 5 years living with Minerva. She's a feisty cat. She's a sweet cat, but she has very low tolerance for cuddling, for petting, for love. But we love her all the same. She's just got fire. And it looks like Mike's got her, so I'll stop vamping.
Oh, of course I do. This is Minerva, everyone. She is one of the few loves of my life. She was in quite a bit of trouble earlier today. She was the one that scratched our other cat right on the nose, caused a little bit of bleeding. She's a feisty one. As you can see right now, she's a lump of mud. She's just a lump of clay, just lounging around. But she has that opportunity for some feistiness, don't ya? Don't ya? Mwah. Anyway, off you go. Well, I hope that's what you were expecting, Robbie, because that's just what happened. Robbie goes on to say, "I will 100% not be seeing Elf on the Shelf movie, no matter what they do." That being said, That being said, I think the right approach would be to have a live action cast with a puppet elf. CGI or a live elf actor would be weird. Interesting.
Yeah, just keep the elf on the shelf a doll.
That's
kind of fun.
That would
and
be
creepy.
really funny,
But
actually.
fun.
That would be really fun. Like, immediately I'm conjuring images of Team America World Police, where the whole movie is just done with marionettes, but you see the strings. Something like that. I mean, like, I'm not advocating that we get Matt Stone and Trey Parker to write a family-friendly film. I mean, I don't know if they could keep it family-friendly. I think that could be interesting. That could be really funny. I never stopped to think about that. Tracy, what's your take on that?
Yeah, I like the visual of it because in our real lives, Elf on the Shelf is kind of doll-like. So keeping it a doll, I like it a lot.
That'd be funny.
And just seeing his little cotton arms just trying to pick up things.
Well, would
and
its mouth
stuff.
move?
But having the strength of a man. I don't think he says anything. Maybe he just giggles all the time.
You just
This is him scaling a wall.
just like that? Yeah. I would love that. I would love that.
Yeah.
But again, you would need the star power behind it. Netflix is not known for making quality films. They make quality television shows, but they don't make quality movies. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
I mean, The Old Guard was pretty good. Well, what was the Scorsese film that he did like last year? The Irishman.
Oh,
That was arguably pretty good.
yeah.
But like, what other movies do they put out that are good? Not many. Not many. Their shows are incredible though, but
Yeah.
I don't know. So we'll see. I would,
Yeah.
Robbie, I would love to, like, when this movie eventually comes out, I would love to do a watch party. And if we can't do a watch party, like, we definitely can't stream a watch party, but if we do a watch party, I would love to have you on the show afterwards, force you to watch the Elf on the Shelf movie, and then we'll do like an in-depth like breakdown. I think that would be wonderful. Tracy, will you join us for that?
I would, yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
And our
You're
last
welcome.
comment today also comes from Robbie Spratt, who says, I also think it should be a dark kids movie, like a PG-rated Chucky.
I think it has the potential to be that for sure. Yes. Because Elf on the Shelf is always watching.
We'll get, oh man, get, who's the voice I'm thinking of? Mark Hamill. Get Mark Hamill to do a voice for the doll, for the Elf on the Shelf. We'll get like an old grizzled, not Mel Gibson, but somebody else, like just like this grizzled kind of, I don't know, like, can we just get Samuel L. Jackson to play every character? What if Sam Jackson was Santa Claus? What if Sam Jackson was Santa Claus? That I'm firing on all levels right now, you guys. Sam Jackson's playing Santa Claus. Mark Hamill is playing the Elf on the Shelf. We've got Jacob Tremblay playing the kid. I'm sorry, if you're talking like a, it doesn't even need to be PG. Like, let's make this thing full on rated R. I would love to see Jacob Tremblay just like fight in battle. Like, let's make it like Gremlins. Let's have the tone of Gremlins, but with Elf on the Shelf. This is it.
Yeah.
I just cracked the code, you guys. Robbie, would you watch that
Mike,
movie?
have you ever...
Go ahead.
Oh, have you ever seen Dolls? I know you don't like horror movies, but Dolls?
You just mentioned two things that are extremely terrifying to me.
Horror movies and dolls?
I can't stand
Read it.
scary movies. No, I was waiting for you to respond. Scary movies, no bueno. And if you have dolls in a scary movie, that's just even worse. I collect dolls. Look behind me. I don't want these things popping to life. No, thank you.
Yeah. Well, I highly recommend
Okay.
Dolls.
Well, now
from
you
the
have to
80s.
tell me a
Watch
little bit about it.
It's pretty funny.
Scary.
It's scary,
Is
but
it
it's
is it
funny.
anything like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Have you seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Oh, I think we just lost Tracy Mull. We'll see if she calls back. She'll call back in a minute. Anyway, guys. Oh, there she is. She's calling back on. How is this? What is working right now? You guys, I don't know what reality is anymore. This is basically. Let me just change the screen. This is the end of the show. This is basically the end. Thank you so much for watching. Let's see if we can. Let's try real quick. Let's see if we can get Tracy back. Let's see if Tracy will join us. There she is. There's Tracy Mull. All right.
Hi.
So this is the end of the show. We're basically just gonna cut it here. Tracy, thank you so much for joining. Thank you for being part of the conversation. Thank you for adding your expertise and your knowledge and your know-how. Tell us. Oh, hang on. We have one last comment from Robbie Spratt. He says, "Okay, I will watch it if you force me. I will force you, Robbie, and we're gonna do a watch party and we're gonna break it down. And it's gonna be awesome." And one more. He says, I would love a Christmas movie. Yes. I would love a Christmas movie featuring Samuel L. Jackson playing every part. Right? Imagine him as a fat Santa Claus surrounded by a bunch of tiny Samuel L. Jackson elves taking toys to a bunch of boys and girls. Samuel L. Jackson's asleep in their bed. Every character. I want to see a mother blanking Santa pulling a mother blanking sleigh. That's the hashtag, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Tracy, doesn't sound like you're on board with this idea. Maybe I should bring Minerva back. Anyway, guys, this is the end of our show. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for being part of the conversation. Thanks for jumping down into the comment section and giving us more things to talk about. Tracy, you're one of my best friends on planet Earth. Thank you for doing this. Thank you for just hanging out and chit-chatting and talking movies for a while. What projects do you have coming up that you want to plug, and where can people find you online?
So the comedy show I'm doing, we're thinking of live streaming it or sharing video of it. So look for that. It's called Knock 'em Dead. You can find me on Twitter find me on Instagram at sandwich bag. And, anyways, be safe, have fun. Thanks again, Mike. Woo!
Yeah! All right, guys. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Samuel L. Jackson as Elf on the Shelf would want you to do. All right, guys. My name is Mike Brown. I'm here all the time, Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys, we live in a weird world where everybody has their own thoughts and ideas and opinions, and sometimes they clash. So if you have a chance to infuse a little bit of kindness into the world, please do it. Please speak kind words to each other. Again, we live in a weird world where everybody's just doing whatever they want. So please be kind to each other. And like I said, speak kind words to each other. And I will see you all on Monday. No show tomorrow, Saturday, or Sunday. Tomorrow being Saturday. So no show Saturday or Sunday. I will see you all on Monday.